Carissa from Southern Homegrown again, and in today's video I want to touch a little more on the morning sickness and the use of the legumes, the beans and things. So the cause and the cure of morning sickness has kind of been shrouded in mystery for a good long while. Most people are like, what causes that? But it's really not that difficult to understand and to conquer. I mean, some people still do have trouble with it, but and it can go into the extreme with the hypergravidamus, whereas you're like really nauseated and vomiting all the time and you get dehydrated. But most of the time, it's pretty, you can kind of handle it. Most of the time, when the standard answer of like eating small frequent meals, or coating your gastrointestinal tract with crackers or fruit or something before can kind of be effective, and in some ways it can kind of be ineffective sometimes. So it just really depends on the person. And you've also heard of the vitamin B6 that can also help with morning sickness, and this can help. But a lot of the time, most of the time, when a woman becomes pregnant, they make this hormone called HCG. This hormone is primarily responsible for maintaining the pregnancy and things like that. You get this high level that is needed to maintain the pregnancy, and it can transfer negatively when it comes to the liver, because your liver stimulates to produce, when you got all these extra hormones and things running through your body, then your liver is going to produce larger amounts of digestive enzymes to process everything, and this digestive enzyme is called bile. Well, the bile is designed to break down the fatty acids we eat. So when you have no fatty acids in your duodenum, the first part of the small intestines or anything like that, then most people they get nauseated. There's nothing to digest there but you, so therefore you get nauseated. So bile also is also the carrier of like expanded hormones. So because the liver is responsible for filtering these fat soluble substances and to get it out of the bloodstream, these hormones, which are fat soluble, so they're collected all up in the liver. Well, the liver, it has the job of expelling the extra hormones, so from get them out of your body. So the more hormones that are filtered out by the bloodstream by the liver, the more bile the liver has to produce and release for the purpose of disposing of these hormones. So then when the bile is released, the probability of nausea is a lot, it's increased. So so the more fats we eat, the more we stimulate the liver to release bile in order to break down these fats. But the bile itself is the fat, and not all the bile and the fat leaves the body. So in fact, a large amount of bile will be reabsorbed or recycled by the liver in this case. The problem with the bile recycling is that this bile fats, they carry like a lot of debris. So this debris has to be filtered out by the bloodstream and put in the bile. The carrier has to be, escorted out of the body, so we say, But, as it recycles, so does this, like it keeps doing this process. This means there's more debris, there's more bile, it keeps going over and over. The hormones increase, the bile increase, the nausea increases. You kind of go from there. So a high-fat diet, constitutes to an elevated bile production. But even more significant, the lack of soluble fiber in our Western diet. So like in our Western diet, we have a lack of that soluble fiber. So we would eat soluble fiber in more amounts. We could eat all the fat we wanted and never suffer adverse effects, basically. So the solid fiber is found in legumes. So you got all this fiber in these legumes, which is, you know, basically like beans. It's like your pinto beans, your kidney beans, your garbanzo beans, black-eyed peas, lentils, black beans, red beans, navy beans, white beans, northern beans, you know, field peas, yellow-eyed beans, you know, I mean, beans basically, because beans are dense and they're a soluble fiber. So soluble fiber and bile. So soluble fiber and bile have a great, they're like great for an intestinal barrier, you know. All the bile that has been bound together with the soluble fiber will exit the body through the bowel movement. This means that the bile will not recycle or accumulate debris, causing you to feel less nausea. Eliminating the nausea doesn't necessarily decrease the production of the hormones, HCG, but it does like negate the HCG side effects causing you nausea. So if you're feeling nauseated, you need to immediately eat about 1/4 cup of cooked legumes or beans. And you can eat more, you know, that's even better. It's just whatever you can tolerate. And you'll see relief. You should see relief in around 20 minutes or so. The nausea will go away. However, it may also come back, but it'll be went away for a little bit. So, you know, and the time frame depends on the liver stimulation, you know, and like how much bile and things like that. If the HCG levels are higher, it will be around like 1 to 4 hours before you feel queasy again. Who knows? Each time you feel queasy though, you eat more beans and do this as often as necessary if it helps. You know, even if it only helps for a short period of time, you know, you get that little bit of relief. You know, as the bile is carried out of the body, the successive release of bile becomes less potent with the debris. So the more you're getting out, the more of that extra you have leaving. So after the consumption of legumes, each release of bile is less nauseating, and eventually within a few days you will be able to consume beans just once or twice a day to prevent the morning sickness from reoccurring. You know, you may have a little bit more flatulence with the beans, but you know, it's the price you pay for a little less nausea. And you know, they're really good sources for you. But so yeah, the extra production of the hormones, and it's causing the liver to work overtime, you know. So when you eat the beans, it helps with this process, and it helps get rid of the extra that's causing the nausea. So yeah, basically that sums it up. So just eat more beans. And I mean, like I said, you also can do the small frequent meals, or you know, make sure you coat your stomach, you know, or the B6 vitamins. But you know, in the long run, it's really kind of up to you. You know, you can also use CBD oil or you know, CBD edibles to help with it as well. You know, just personally your preference of whatever you need to do. So like I said, for more information, email us at info@southernhomegrown, or shoot us a message on the website, southernhomegrown.com. Thank you, and have a great day.